Hey guys, welcome to Meet the Fighter. Today we have Lishade to join us. How are you?
Hello. Okay.
So, what do you enjoy the most in your deck play style right now?
I think it's made to have punishes against every style, and I think that's very enjoyable because the consistency is there. For example, every heavy move that people want to avoid or parry has a punish for every style. For example, I can feint the front kick into drunk rain if I'm against Phasian or Stagger. But if I'm against Colt, I'm not gonna feint it, and I get a lot of damage. Or if I'm against Windfall, I can feint it into front Stagger. There's a lot of places in this deck where I can use my Staggers. It was kind of the idea. And on top of that, there's also a lot of side unlocks.
And how do you play it?
So for the side unlocks, the one I probably use the most is the spinning high kick one. So either after doing a side stagger in bottom left, I can side unlock the spinning high, or after under knee I can also do it, or also from a side stagger in another stance. So there's a couple of spots. And it doesn't matter where I use the spinning high, I always have the face back fist after it. Doesn't matter if the spinning high kick hits or I feint it, I can go into face back fist. So I get insane stamina damage if it all hits. And then there are some weird side unlocks with the side staggers. I can go into Bakura, into Wobble from basically every stance, but I don't use them that much. And that's kind of it.
And how do you play against different styles?
So for Colt, I just spam the spinning high kick flute because it deals a lot of stamina damage, and if they absorb, I just front stagger them and take the ghost off, and then the game is basically over. If they have grab punch, then it's a little bit more complicated. Then I have to guess if they're gonna grab punch or just absorb or try to interrupt, and it gets a little bit more complicated.
Nene intensifies.
Yeah, exactly. Nene is probably the only Colt I could struggle with because he uses grab punch very. He knows the spots where it's difficult for me to avoid it. For example, I can sometimes drunk rain his grab punch and side stagger right after it, so I get a lot of damage. But sometimes he uses the specific timing where I can't. So I hit the drunk rain, but then I get hit by the grab punch and lose a lot of health. So that's basically the Colt matchup. I also have a Garbage, so it's even easier. It's a very good deck for Colt. For Windfall, I just feint every scary move. I have spin high kick, spin flute, swing front kick, face back with gas punch into front stagger because that's always a punish. So if they don't try to avoid the scary moves, they get stamina damage. If they do, then they get front stagger confirm. For Phasian, I do the exact same thing, but I don't front stagger and just do the fast option instead, and it's also a punish. Then for Seiken, I guess I just do whatever. The style doesn't really work, so it doesn't matter. You can kind of play around with the side staggers more, because Forsaken seems to worry about the direction, so side staggers work. And then the stagger matchup is very weird. Against stagger, you don't really play with your deck and more with your stagger itself. For example, if I do spinning high kick and they backstagger the spinning high kick, I need to buffer a front stagger into the backstagger. But then they can side stagger the buffered front stagger, and then I need to, and so on. And that's kind of it.
And are you trying to improve something?
Just overall, I guess the mind games against every player. I feel like I have the idea against every style, and I know what to do. But I just get distracted. Also, I do a lot of side unlocks for no reason. Usually it's just better to continue my combo, but I try to do some stylish side Bakura or side swing high kick, and it doesn't really work out every time.
So let's do some fights to see it in action.